What's up, guys? This is Shae.
And this is Matt.
And this is the Building Small Business Podcast.
Today we have Connor Query here on our show, and we're excited to hear a lot about what she does, which is in fact a lot of different things.
Yes.
I don't really know where to start, so I'm going to let her explain the general job, and then we'll get into the details.
General job. Okay.
Can you hold the mic up a little bit more?
Yes,
Thank
I
you.
can. So I generally I run my own art business, Connor Query Art, and I do paintings, graphic design, murals, chalkboards. Pretty much, if you ask me to do something artistic, I can make it happen somehow. And then I also work around town at breweries with pretty much every brewery around town in some sort of way, mostly chalkboards. And then the main one would be Mirror Twin, and then I also bartend there. So
Nice.
it's kind of everywhere.
Do any of those get possessive? Or they're like, no, you messed their chalkboards up this week?
No, actually, I'm really good friends with all of them, and they know that I'm everywhere. So no one's really like, I mean, unless someone wants to sign a contract with me and
Exclusive.
pay me a whole bunch of money.
There we go.
I'm in it.
So how did you get started in art? Did you go to school for it?
Art, I did go to school for it, college. I was pretty, I don't know, I guess I was pretty creative very young, and I guess my parents kind of clung on to that, and I would do, calendar. They were like, I went to Cassidy down the road, and there were these contests in Fayette County to be in the like Fayette County calendar or something like that. And so I would always enter in those with my dinky little like watercolors or something.
Yeah.
We should have put one of those up real big behind us.
I know. Oh my God. The only one I could think of is this cat portrait that was like the cat is just like a black cat with like the tail's really long, had a red bow at the end, and like all four legs are shown. Like it's terrible. It's terrible.
I remember
you got to
doing
start somewhere.
I remember
Gotta
doing
start
one
somewhere.
of those, and we had to do symmetry, and so like it was a self-portrait. Well, when I unfolded my page for my symmetry, I had two chins, and it was always on a magnet on my
Like a
fridge.
butt chin.
Sounds about right. No. So, speaking of putting something behind us, this to address the elephant or the horse in the room.
It's a horse.
Nice. I like that.
Thanks, Shae. So this is a painting that she's done, and this is not a print, right? This is the actual painting.
That's the actual painting.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's pretty freaking cool. And I guess I'll just be looking back like this the entire time. I apologize.
So that was actually my like COVID project.
So this is pretty new.
Yeah. I started that. I guess I moved in my house that I'm in now a week before shutdown. So I am still meeting my neighbors. But I was just like, wow, all of the breweries that I work for closed. All of the places that I do like freelance stuff closed. My art business, who's going to want to buy a pet portrait? So I was just like mini freak out. So I had a whole bunch of like giant canvases just chilling in my studio, and I was like, let's be positive. And I have a nice little porch that's covered, and I just started this, I called it the Porch painting series, and I would do all these time-lapse videos of me like starting that painting. One of my friends, Becca B Photography, shout out, does like equine photography, and she has these amazing pictures, and I saw that, and I was like, a girl, I'm gonna paint that. And I started that one. It was just like kind of my own. I never just paint on my own because I don't have any time for it, but I started that one, and I was like, let's do this super hyper realistic, like just for me practice or whatever. And it started to become like every time I would post it, I would get like 3 orders from it, or like, and it kept like building every time I would post a video. And I was like, shoot, I can't finish this painting. Like, I have all these orders to do now. So worked
so
out,
they
worked
so they
out in
weren't
my favor.
specific like horse paintings or anything. It was like other different
No, yeah, it was
things.
just like people saw it and they were like, oh, like, could you paint my dog? And I'm like, oh, I do that, yeah. So like, let's do it. And so yeah, I got a ton of orders from that, and then I had to pause. And so the owner of that horse saw me doing these, and she started following me, and like, she's like, let me know when you finish it. Like, I'd love to like get a print of it if you like make prints, or like buy the actual portrait from you. I was like, oh yeah, girl, I'll let you know. And it took it took forever for me to finish it. I started it last March, and I didn't finish it until the beginning of this year.
Oh wow.
Because I had so many orders to do. And funny story, I didn't post any more progress pictures of it, but her boyfriend reached out to me and was like, hey, so her birthday is coming up in like a month.
Get that shit done.
Get that shit done. I will buy it from you and give it to her. I don't care how much. Let me know. And I was like, on it.
$1 million.
Deal.
I'll spend a lot of time on this.
Yeah, she had no idea, but she was messaging me all the time, like, when are you going to finish it? Like, looking for updates and all that stuff. And I had to, like, not post anything, which is the hardest thing. What?
Just ghost her?
Yeah, I did.
She's
and
probably
I was
like, oh, she's a huge a-hole.
I know. She's like, God, when is she going to finish this portrait that she started a whole year ago?
Right.
So is this actually hers now?
Yeah, it is hers.
That's
So he
so cool.
surprised her. He did like this giant party with her family and all that stuff, and then like
Oh, that's
unveiled
awesome.
it at the party. And I don't know if she was crying or something, but I
That's
think
cool.
there were some tears. But
That's really awesome.
love
Yeah,
that.
that's sweet.
It was so sweet, but it was, oh my God, it was so hard because I had to take videos while I was doing it, but I couldn't post them anywhere. So I was like, I have like a whole album just waiting, just
To
sitting.
share with her or
Yeah.
whoever was the purchaser.
Yeah.
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 What how many hours would it take to do like have you calculated how long that took you or
Well, I normally don't paint them that detailed, I would say, which I would if someone asked me to do that. That's like, I work on so many at one time, so it's really hard for me to actually gauge something like that. But if I were to sit and not work on anything else, it's probably like a week if I didn't do anything
Like
else.
nonstop?
If I didn't do anything else.
like continuous?
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of time, yeah.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
So this porch painting, like, so you were just posting about that on social media during the shutdowns and everything. Do you think that helped you grow like a pretty good following?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was kind of already gaining a little bit since I quit my job. It'll be 3 years in October.
Congrats.
I know. Thanks. I know. Somehow I've kept a roof over my head. Somehow.
See, it's not that hard.
It's not. Well, it is.
She's like, try being an artist in the pandemic that works for breweries.
Right. But yeah, that just kind of sparked a lot of different projects, like working for David at Jefferson Street Coffee and doing murals, and I don't know, people saw me doing that and they're like, oh, maybe you can do this random thing that has nothing to do with this. Let me throw this at you. And I normally don't say no to anything, so it's my own way of testing myself.
I'm pretty.
enough.
It
bad
normally
about
works
that,
out. But
Fair enough.
yeah.
So how did you get started in with the breweries? That would be an awesome gig.
So I used to work at Texas Roadhouse, and the manager there was one of the investors for Mirror Twin.
Okay.
Nice.
Before they opened, he reached out to me and was like, hey, so you're artistic. Do you want to come do the chalkboard before they open? And I was like, sure, just thinking it was like a one and done, like, I'm just going to do this chalkboard and never see them again.
Did you even know how much to charge? Were you just like,
Oh, no, they couldn't pay me back then. They couldn't pay me. But so it was pretty much just like I've never done this before. And you all have been there. It's a giant wall. And I was like scaling the wall, trying to figure out how to do this. After that, the owner of Rolling Oven was like, hey, you do this. Will you do my stuff too? And I was like, sure. and he has a board on the other side of the wall. But then they were like, oh, well, we have to change a beer like this next week. Can you come back? And then it just spiraled from there.
That's all. And then the
Yeah.
reputation kind of took you to the other spots.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Yeah.
We glazed over a whole lot of since the cat with the ribbon tail, and then
Yeah.
fast tracked it to here.
kinda-
So
Okay.
you were saying that your parents had noticed that you were artistic, and they wanted to kind of keep you in that zone. Then the cat talk.
Yeah.
Where do we go from? You talked about school for a little bit, so college, and then
So I actually, like from elementary, I focused more on sports, and I thought that was going to be my thing. Like I'd go to college and play.
soccer, volleyball,
Volleyball and softball.
Okay.
And I quickly jumped out of that because, drama and parents and coaches, all that jazz.
Was that high school or?
Yeah, it was high school when I kind of fizzled out of that. I stuck more with volleyball. Then I played like travel teams and stuff, and then got to college and focused more on art. I realized quickly that that's not what I want to go to college and focus. I mean, that's like very time consuming. So
Yeah.
Where'd you go to
went
college?
on there. I went to UK.
Okay.
And yeah, it was an art studio. I went in there as an art studio, a double major art studio and art education, but quickly dropped the art education.
Yeah, I was gonna
like-
say, what? You want to teach art class in a middle school or something?
I said no to middle school. Hard no. I was like, I hated it myself. I don't want to go in there watching all those kids hate themselves as well. That sounds terrible.
I could never teach
But-
middle school. That'd be a hard time.
No, or if they just hated painting or like hated
Right.
art, and you're just like, oh, you little
That was my thing. I was like,
How dare you.
I want to teach someone that like
wants to do
cares about it.
it. Right.
And the kids, like elementary, that would just be fun and easy and all that. But, and then high school, I made the mistake of shadowing my art teacher from high school, which Eric Bolander, he will watch this.
Is it, I'm just gonna take a guess. Henry Clay.
Henry Clay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I was just guessing by district.
Yeah. And when I was like hanging out with him, I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna switch after this.
Kids are
I think we're
ruthless.
done now.
Yeah.
I think we're done now. It was fun, but it was like, this is not for me. I'll teach my little wood burning classes that I do for adults at breweries while we can drink.
Oh yeah.
I need to start going to those.
Yeah, I know.
They're nice. They're
Dig
fun.
some wood burning. I used to do that, very poorly
Same.
with those little weak kids.
I
that
had
you
one.
could buy. So
It's
sorry.
not, it's very relaxing. It's probably not relaxing if you're not patient.
Also, what if your hand starts cramping? Because I'm probably like
always.
the guy. Yeah.
Yep, it happens.
Sorry, we've gone off track here. So
Again,
so
sorry.
college. So college, you dropped that education
Mm-hmm.
off of there, and then after college, like the Texas Roadhouse thing was the jam, or what?
I quit Roadhouse during college, actually. I actually started going to the Art Institute for graphic design. UK didn't have graphic design when I was there. Now there's a whole major for it, which thanks, UK. Had to pay a whole bunch of money for another school.
Yeah.
But so I was doing that at the same time. And then I started working for my sister, who has an event company, Lexington Event Company.
No free shout outs. That's the second one. You only get one. No, I'm just kidding. I'm
Sorry.
kidding. So Lexington Event Company.
Lexington Event Company.
Gotcha.
And she does like events like corporate. And so she didn't have a graphic designer. So I would make, bridal invitations or menus or chalkboard signs. Anything printed was me, or website stuff and all that stuff. So I worked with her for a little bit. And I guess that was my like first full-time job. And then went and worked for a different marketing company, little part-time stuff while I was doing the brewery stuff. And then I Worked for Bud's Gun Shop.
Oh, sweet.
That's kind of cool. I mean,
It was
if that's your thing.
That's random.
different. It was interesting. I mean, I was coding emails like old, like old school MySpace where you like coding.
That's awful.
It was terrible.
That was my favorite thing to do on MySpace.
It was so bad. But like, think of that for emails.
No.
When there's a million email
Automatic.
yeah.
Someone does that for a small fee online.
It was
Different.
different.
So you've been
So quit
full
that.
time for like, how long have you been out of college?
I graduated 2015. So, yeah, that amount.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I have a question about Roadhouse, and then I'm going to let Shae ask another question if he so chooses. Did you ever get tired of the cinnamon butter?
There's no
Because
way.
it is
Oh,
so
it's
damn good.
So good.
Yeah.
They have the peanuts too, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I
But
love the
like,
peanuts.
I've never eaten a peanut there.
What the hell?
Not one single peanut.
she knows something about those peanuts
Yeah.
that we don't, is what it
Come
is.
on.
No.
She's like, oh, you should see the savages that come by
I'm
and just run their grubby hands.
like
into
they,
Matt
it.
they really do.
Yeah.
All the kids just
Coming straight out of the toilet.
because I don't
Oh
even.
gosh, she's really about to ruin it for
They
us.
said, sorry.
You
Well,
eat those peanuts?
At the old one, like
Of course.
there were the giant barrels
Yeah.
of peanuts,
And you just
and
grabbed
like
a handful.
the kids would just. But I mean, you'd break them out of the shells. It's not like you're
It's,
eating.
but
what
but
they're-
still, your hands are on those shells, and you don't say
That's
like.
where COVID started.
See, COVID started with a peanut.
And then
Peanut was-
Texas Roadhouse peanuts.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't.
Yeah.
I just had to ask about the butter. I just like every time we danced around
It's
that Texas
so
Roadhouse
good.
topic. I
Is
was
that
like,
all
no,
you could
we-
think about was the butter? It's like you
Do you want me to
almost
answer
ruining,
honestly
it's
or
like you almost ruining Fazoli's breadsticks for us. You thought
No,
about it.
no. I would never.
See, I can't go to
No.
Fazoli's either. I had summer
Oh,
gym at Henry Clay, and we would go to Fazoli's every.
It was so
day.
close.
So close.
Did you have any friends that work there?
At Fazoli's?
Yeah.
Did not.
I'm not gonna name any people that used to come through the. So I used to work at the Palomar one, and I used to have some buddies that would get inebriated, and they would just come through the drive-through at random. Not even go through where you like talk, and they'd be like, Mets, bro, you work in the drive-through? Like, yeah, man. Like, what? And they would just be like, do you have any things that y'all made wrong that you could just throw? And I would literally take
my God, that's
all
so
the stuff that
funny.
we made wrong and just hand it out the window and be like, go, like, get out of here.
Go.
I need to get
That's
friend of Fazoli's.
hilarious.
Right. Okay. Sorry. Back on track. Do you have
We'll get back on the subject of art, I guess. So you act like you do a lot of different things. What's kind of like your bread and butter? Like, do you have one main thing that you do? You mentioned some pet portraits
Yeah.
or wood burning.
I'd say that's the main kind of, I guess, what people would probably know me as or know me for is the pet portraits. My friend asked me I guess before I graduated college, she asked me to paint her 2 dogs for her boyfriend for Christmas. And on these like giant, they were 30 by 40, I think they were that size. And it was 2 portraits for Christmas.
wait.
Oh.
One portrait was this size, and then the other portrait was the same size?
Uh-huh.
2 different dogs?
Uh-huh.
Damn.
The OG pups.
Yeah.
And I just posted it on Facebook, just on my regular page, and was like, oh, look these, like I can finally show you all what I did for my friend, for her boyfriend. And then from there, I just got order request after request, and it was like nonstop. So I had to like start a page and
What year
get
was
an
that
email. I want to say like 2013 or 14
in?
maybe.
Oh, gosh. Nice.
Yeah.
So before you got out of college.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So that was how I started, and just been doing it ever since, and just kind of expanding different. I think that the most popular thing right now is the little ornaments that I do on the piece of wood.
That is cool.
Yeah, that I get a ton of those for Christmas. I have a whole wall in my studio that is just wood.
Awesome.
waiting to be bought.
Turn into ornaments, yeah.
You need to get some paintings of Benny and.
We have
I can't remember
one.
their dog's
It was.
name.
It made the. I think it made the cut on
Yeah.
the pics you took of our house.
Oh, okay.
I think
sweet.
so. Thanks for noticing. I'll look into other like maybe some ornaments or something. But
Oh yeah, for sure.
so we kind of maybe talked about this, but not on purpose. So advertising, you said that you did this series on your back porch and you gained some traction from that. Is there any one specific thing that you do for advertising that you find better than others? Is there one that's your go-to? Obviously Instagram's big.
Instagram is definitely my go-to, and it's where I get 90% of the customers. Facebook, of course, they connect, so I go through that as well. I haven't paid for anything recently. I feel like that has never helped, like putting out ads or anything like that. I would say word of mouth has been the majority of anything. When COVID wasn't a thing, I would do markets, like the farmers market when they had the artist stuff. I think they still do it right now. I just haven't been, I'm not trying to risk it with people not wanting to come out still or whatever. I think everything's kind of like coming back, so I think we're good on that. But like Woodland Art Fair and stuff like that.
You've done that one?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
We do. I do that every year with my mom.
I go there every year.
Makes jewelry, so
oh, cool.
we split a booth.
Is that going on this year?
Yeah, it is.
Sweet. We'll have to come stop by.
Yes, I'll have a little sign up.
Yeah, I'll bring you a refreshment.
Thanks. Mirror Twin will be there.
They will?
Yeah.
Cool.
There's normally like a little, there's like normally like a little like cove of
like
breweries.
A beer row.
Beer garden or whatever.
I guess garden would probably be better. So what's your favorite thing now that you've been pretty much full-time for, you said 3 years? What's your favorite thing about owning your own business versus working for another one?
I would say, I'm sure everybody probably says like, I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. But I would say my favorite thing is just knowing that like I need to constantly be on it, like have the drive, and it has me motivated to like keep doing stuff, like finding new products or finding new ways to do things, or just even like becoming a better artist and all that stuff. I mean, obviously I enjoy like being able to work from home and like be with my dog, like, be free in a sense. I'm definitely working 24/7
Yeah.
at all times. Even when I was at a birthday party last night and I was still like trying to get the portrait. I was like doing all this stuff and I was like, shoot, really look like I'm just like sitting on my phone.
Just like
I'm like,
we're scrolling through
I'm working,
Instagram.
I swear to God.
That's funny.
Yeah, but it's hard. It's really hard. And it's like terrifying terrifying not knowing, like, I mean, whatever I do is how I'm making money. So it's like a constant reminder, like, hey, what kind of work are you going to do today? Are you going to have some money coming in or not?
The challenge is fun because like you do have to keep growing to stay relevant, because if not, you'll get passed by and you won't really be around anymore. So
Yeah, exactly.
I agree with you. I like that too.
Yeah.
Is there any one product, you said that finding new products or anything, do you have anything else like that you haven't done ever that you're kind of thinking about getting into? Or, I mean, you don't have to mention if it's like a groundbreaking thing, but obviously.
Not at the moment. I feel like I've kind of jumped into the things that I wanted to jump into. But there is like, so I used to do ceramics and stuff, like throwing. And I did in college. That was like one of my focuses, and I really miss it. So I like wish I could. I have a kiln at my parents' house.
Nice.
Like got it and everything right out of college. Thought that was gonna be a thing that was gonna happen, and it did not.
It's like it takes time though. I mean, you gotta set time aside for it.
It definitely takes time, and it's not. I mean, you have to have like a whole facility to do something like that. But I mean, that's more so I just want to get back into it, just to do it, not so much sell anything, but
I did ceramics twice in high school.
Did you?
I took like advanced ceramics and stuff.
Yeah, at least my wife does that on Mondays at Kentucky Mudworks, and she's like all about it. It's like one of her favorite things to go do for a couple hours.
It's so fun. I love it.
So to someone else who would be looking into like starting their own business or even in the art field, like what's a piece of advice you would give them?
For like money, I would say that's like the main thing that everyone kind of freaks out about. I just had the plan that I was going to do it eventually, just quit my job and like go for it. But I, had like a month or 2, 3 months maybe just of like, all right, save everything and then just go for it. If money's not an issue, then just go for it. Like,
Right.
Just do it. But like I said, you need to have the drive to wake up, or not even wake up. You need to be working in your sleep. Like, you're going to be working at all times. I have dreams about getting things done. Like, I get things done in my dreams.
I do the same thing.
Yeah. You just, you can't just quit your job and be like, oh, I'm so free now. No, you're
Right.
not free
That's
anymore.
when the work starts.
Right,
Actually,
exactly.
it's when you got to work harder.
Yeah.
That's funny you say that. Like I used to do productivity coaching for a brokerage that I was at, and oftentimes people would ask me like, what's the best thing to do when you're getting started in real estate? And I would always say, if you have the ability to put 6 months back, like, because sometimes when you get into real estate, you could sell a house in a month, or it could be 6 months.
Right.
A lot of times it's 6 for a lot of people. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the nature of the beast. It takes 30 days to close, all that stuff. So I would tell everybody, like, please, whatever you do, don't kick yourself out of this job or be out of being a realtor by not having savings. Like, you have to have that.
Exactly.
So that's great advice.
But then again, like, you also can't like wait till you have like 3 years of savings, or you'll never do it. So you gotta like hit a number, and then like you're like, okay, I got 6 months, so I have to make this shit work in 6 months. And a lot of times that's the drive you need, because you're like, well, I got a timeline. Let me get going.
Yeah.
That definitely was my, I guess, the stressor that took forever. I just kept worrying, like, no one's gonna buy anything. I'm gonna quit my job, and then no one's gonna buy anything from me, and all that stuff. And it was just like, no, you just have to. I think it took me maybe like 2 years. I had the idea, and I was just like, oh, no, I can't do it. But no, just went for it. Freaked out for a solid month. But then I was like, oh, no, we're good.
Yeah.
Why did I do this a long time ago?
Right. No, exactly.
That's funny. Well, do you want to go ahead and tell everybody what you learned, or do you want me to go first?
You can go first.
Okay. I think I'm going to go with the most recent thing, and that being, will that put you in a bad spot? Okay.
She said a lot of good things.
I think
Cool.
the thing that I like the most about, especially when starting a business like that, the nature of, like, how long does it take you to create a piece of art, advertise whatever that piece of art is, and then actually sell it and receive income from it. I think having a nest egg to kind of rely on is extremely important when you're starting your own business, whether it be real estate, art, starting your own HVAC business. Like, all these people, it's the same problem, just a different product.
Right.
So
Yeah, and I think it was in that same quote, but you basically said just go do it. Because like I said, if you wait around for forever, you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
If you wait for it to be super easy or comfortable, it's not going to ever just hit you in the face. So just do it, but be prepared, like you said. Just at least have a little bit of money saved back so you can
Right.
actually do the work you need.
You never know.
Yeah.
Your car might break down on the side of the road.
That's usually when it will, though.
That's
is
when it
moments like
did it
that.
happen to you? Oh.
That's what happened. No, it didn't. But
Oh, okay.
thank God.
Well, it's time for our 5 burning questions. I don't know if you've listened to any. Have we even put one out with guilty pleasures in it yet? We just did today.
We just did today. Yeah.
Shoot.
So we
So
added,
no.
we added one to the very end, but it's not that hard to answer. So
Okay.
I will take number 1. What is one thing that when starting your business that you would change or do differently?
I don't even think I read that one. Okay. Do differently. I probably would have saved more. Saved more
Just to have
money.
more like comfort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was really scraping it for a second, but if I had to change one thing, of course, everybody wishes they had more money when they do something.
Now you're here.
No, we're here.
She's made it, finally. She's on our podcast.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Yes, I made it.
Please don't take that as me saying like, oh yeah, now you're here. No. Although this is our first Katie Couric style interview,
Yeah.
and I'm
You're welcome.
I'm not mad about it.
Yeah.
So
All right, number 2, what is your favorite hobby? I guess outside of art.
Outside of art, I really
don't
like.
say art.
I know. Right, that is my hobby that I turned into my job. I like to play volleyball. I play at Marika's. I have I had 2 teams. Guys, let's get it together.
Tell them.
Right. Well, we quit our teams because a few people on each team like ended up someone close to them got COVID, so we were just like,
okay.
Let's peace out for a second. But no, I've had one of the same teams for like 12 years. Like we've played together.
That's
forever.
awesome.
Yeah, it's a bunch of Texas Roadhouse people. Shout out.
Shout out Texas
Still can't believe
Roadhouse.
you never ate those peanuts. That's crazy to me. That would have been the first thing I did when I got there.
Yeah.
My first thing would have been just trying to hide as many of those little cinnamon butters as I could in my
Bathing in the
car or some
cinnamon
shit.
butter.
A friend of mine that still works there, he used to do the like the golden roll, and he would just take one roll in the basket and just dump it in the butter
Oh my gosh.
and put it in the basket.
Oh, and like serve it?
Yeah.
That's awesome. People will be like,
He
what
probably
is
still
that?
does it.
I'm not mad at it. Just leave. I wouldn't be upset at all.
Oh shoot.
My turn.
Oh, it is. Okay, good.
Yeah. We got our
Dude,
shit
I
together, we promise.
I forgot these questions. Shoot.
Well, they're super hard, so.
Really hard.
What is your favorite restaurant? Local, please. Don't say Texas Roadhouse. Jesus. Can we get some money, Texas Roadhouse? Because we've said literally
Right.
each part of the name except for the one time she said Roadhouse.
Or peanuts.
Favorite
We'll take
restaurant.
pay and peanuts.
Local restaurant. Oh my goodness, there's so many good ones.
Are you
I
gonna be
didn't think
so? Our
about- I
last
didn't
guest
think about
actually
this.
like he knows a bunch of them, so he was like, "This is really hard," and like kind of like tiptoed around the answer. Are you in that boat? You're trying not to get in trouble.
No, I'm really not. I don't have connections like that, but maybe my sister does. I'm gonna get in trouble for saying something wrong. Shoot, I don't know.
You don't know a single restaurant that you love?
I just love so many. Oh my god, I was prepared but not prepared for this one. Let's see.
Do you want to revisit it?
Yeah, let's go back.
This
ahead.
what this was. Oh, it
Yeah, you
wasn't.
cut-
Never mind.
you
I thought this
cut
was
this
just.
out.
the hardest
Do you not
question.
like food? Do you not eat?
But
Your easy
now-
answer could be roll an oven.
Oh yeah, that'd be a cop out.
Okay.
That would be a cop out.
But you
Can't
could,
do
but you
that,
could.
can't do that.
Okay.
It is really good though. That is definitely a top 5 pizza place.
Do you want to go ahead and take the next one so that she can think
let's
about
go,
it, maybe?
Shoot.
What's a musical artist that you listen to that no one would expect?
I like really chuckled at this one.
My wife had a really hard time with this.
I like I really like old school like hip hop.
Like what? Who?
Like I will
Like
like Eazy-E.
Ooh,
Oh,
yeah.
that's
I was
awesome.
hoping that was who you would say.
That's so
like,
cool.
like, or I'll listen to like straight jazz, like
Straight
long
jazz.
Like that's so completely.
No, that's cool though.
That's,
I would
it's
never
so
expected
random.
you like Easy E by
Do you
looking
want
at
to
it either.
rap? Do you want to rap a Easy E song real quick,
No.
like my
Please.
6'4" or something?
Oh my gosh, no, we cannot do that on here.
You want me to
cannot
drop a
sing
beat?
those songs on here. No.
No.
Those
Okay.
are songs I sing in the comfort of my own home.
We hear you. So, do you want me to go on to the other question, or do you want me to ask about the restaurant again?
She's never gonna think of a restaurant.
I'm really not.
All right,
Or like throw a few out and I'll be like, oh yeah. I can't.
Marika's.
Carson's.
Oh, okay, yeah. I love Carson's. That's a good one.
There you go.
That's a good one.
That was easy.
Cool. Brunch. Yeah.
We kind of talked about this earlier, so maybe not your favorite business book, but a favorite business podcast.
Right. So I started, I think the first mural that I did, I needed to not listen to, I don't know, I guess I was burnt out on music. So I put on this podcast that was called Gold Digger by Jenna Kutcher. And she just has a bunch of women entrepreneurs come on there and talk about how they started their business or like what they do for organization and like finance and all the business stuff. So when I turned that on, I could not stop listening to it. She like has, you can like hear, you know how you can just like hear someone smiling, like
Yeah.
the way that they're talking. And I was just like, dude, this girl, she's got me high. Like I'm
Yeah.
ready to go home and like fix my whole business plan of everything. Yeah. So that's a good one. If everyone needs to start one.
Check that out.
You want to take the last one?
What is a guilty pleasure that you have? So it could be some random TV show that you watch, a weird hobby, anything you can think of.
Guilty pleasure. I binge watch I've probably seen everything on Netflix that has ever lived.
What's the thing that you're like, you maybe not most ashamed to tell somebody else, but like
Sweet Tooth.
something that you're like, what? Like, why?
I hate that show.
That was a straight shot at his wife for sure. Who's actively standing behind the cameras, making sure that we look halfway decent.
Like a baking show?
No, it's a weird show about a baby deer, like
What?
mixed with a human. I don't know. It's odd.
Okay. Do you have
No,
a specific one, or you're just saying your guilty pleasure is watching everything on Netflix?
No, that seems so lame. Let me say something different. Guilty pleasure. Okay, I don't have anything. God, this is so hard.
I didn't think it was a tough one, but no.
I don't know. I don't
You'll think of something when you get in the car.
I know.
Right,
You
I
can
will.
text it to us, and I'll just hold it up. To
As
the
soon as
camera.
we cut this thing off, it's gonna be it. Well, we really appreciate you coming on. Thank you for.
Thanks for having me.
Before this
blast.
started, we were moving stuff all around and lights and everything else. So thank you for being patient, and thank you for coming on.
No problem.
You were awesome.
Thanks
I'm
for
gonna
having me.
order something from you. So probably my picture of my dog.
Awesome.
Yeah, definitely gotta get some more dog pics up in the house.
I know a gal. It's me.
We'll holla.
Guess what? It's me. No, thank you for coming on. I'm Matt.
All right, this is Shae. This is the Building Small Business Podcast. Peace.
Dusting off the cobwebs in your head. Now I have to start again.